Hello everyone and welcome to the EVN Disrupt podcast. My name is Nejdet Zaturyan. I'm the editor of the creative tech section here at EVN Report. My guest today was Stepan Aslanyan. Stepan is the co-founder and CEO of Hexact, a business intelligence platform based here in Armenia. We spoke about the problems that they are working to solve and the importance of business intelligence in improving the productivity of economies. Stepan, welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you for having me here. I'm Stepan Aslanyan and ready to answer your
Thank you for being
questions.
here. Stepan, let's start with a little bit of your background. How'd you get your career started and what got you interested in startups?
It's a little bit complicated because my real profession is medical doctor. And
You're a doctor?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Physician.
Okay. What specialty?
Pediatrics.
Nice.
Then public health.
Okay.
Second education. But at the end of medical university, I realized that I'm more a business person than a doctor, and started changing my career. I had some small experiences in marketing.
Yeah.
It was, let's say, my first and last work that I was just an employee.
It must be really hard to invest so much time in something as demanding as medicine and study for 6, 7, 8 years, and then decide one day that you're going to make a big, drastic change. In Armenia, I feel like, not just in Armenia, but especially maybe in Armenia, I often, when speaking with young people, I get a sense that people have a really hard time, grasping sort of the sunk cost fallacy, and they have a hard time changing courses, even if they think it's the right thing to do, just because they've spent so much time on one thing. How'd you make that decision? What was that like?
I just made that decision when I decided that I just like another one than this one. At the same time, I liked medicine. That's why I finished the university.
Right.
A lot of people are asking why I finished. So I wanted to finish. I wanted to finish that course, to have that knowledge, because I am still sometimes using it. Yeah, for me it was okay, let's say. But whenever I decided that it's not mine, I started to work on different directions. Yeah. And it was beginning of 2000s, like the .com, boom, revolution, and many things happened. And I decided to open an e-commerce site in Armenia. It was 2003.
Yeah.
One of the biggest mistakes in my life. And yeah, for sure, after a few months, I decided that it was the stupidest idea in the world.
What were you selling?
I was amazed by Amazon.
Okay.
And I was doing a copy of Amazon, like everything.
Got it.
It was like everything.
What was it called?
And nothing. It called Karpak.am.
Okay. Yeah. So how long did that last?
Few months. Yeah. But during that process, I just realized that making websites is many, many times easier that everybody think about this.
Right.
And I just started to sell websites, and developers who did our websites started to do for customers the same. And then Smart Systems created our first company. We did about 10 years outsourcing, custom software, web development, everything, design, marketing, whatever we could sell.
Right. It's purely business focused.
Yeah.
So when did you wrap up that company?
I think it was 2011. I closed that company in 11 or 12. In the middle, I was managing other companies, don't have any relations to IT. And then I realized that I'm going back to e-commerce, and I joined a Menu Group team as a co-founder. Then I went to Georgia for about 4 years.
Right.
Yeah, then came back.
So you were part of the founding team of Menu Group, which does Menu AM.
Yeah, Menu AM, Menu G, Menu BY.
Yeah.
I was particularly managing, after a year, Georgian operations.
Yeah.
And at 2018, I exited the company, came back to Armenia, and founded Hexact at the beginning of 19.
Right. That's interesting. So you've really seen the evolution of the Armenian tech ecosystem from the early days.
From the dinosaurs.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then you were part of one of the, what became one of the bigger players in the Armenian tech ecosystem with the Menu Group. And now you're back at doing a startup. What are some interesting things you've observed over the 2 decades now that you've been in
at the beginning,
space?
when we were doing the smart systems,
Yeah.
I didn't even hear about the name like startup.
Right.
There wasn't a term startup. We were
Right.
just building websites.
Right. It wasn't
That's-
product oriented. It was just service.
Yeah, it was just service.
Right.
Like, I don't know, printing business cards, something like this. I think this startup hype started here last probably 10 years or something. Before it was just doing something.
Right. What will someone pay me for? Right. Yeah.
And many things happened during that smart systems period. We had many different, we called it projects, now it called startup.
Right.
Like we did Job AM, we did many other projects. We closed one of them, shut down another one, like gave to somebody, sold.
Yeah.
More than 10 projects. We called it project, but
right. Right. They were products.
now it means like startup.
Right. Got it. Yeah. That's an interesting. It's interesting how the Armenian startup ecosystem, or the tech ecosystem, I should say, evolved from really a service-based plus foreign companies having some branches here like Synopsys and stuff, into really a product-oriented ecosystem where people are really building their own products for the global market. And that's what you guys are doing today with Hexact. So tell us a little bit about how the idea for Hexact came about and what problem you guys are solving.
Most of developers don't like these insights, but my problem during this whole period was always that there are many technologies. I'm not developer and I never coded, but I always was in the technology, and I always saw that there are a lot of things that can be automated, but you need a small assistance of a technical person, a little bit developer, a little bit a person who is aware of tech. And it was always a problem for me to find a person, because probably he have to spend an hour on this, but you can spend weeks on finding this person.
Right.
Even hiring on Upwork, you have to wait. He has another project. He's not available today, tomorrow, but it takes an hour from him finally, when you realize what it really matters. And it was always a problem for me. Then we were thinking about this, and this is how Hexact born. So the idea of Hexact is bringing all these existing, let's say, high-tech technologies and a little bit advanced technologies that are available to any even middle developer or middle knowledge owner, but not available for me, let's say, or other businesses or other solopreneurs, entrepreneurs, just persons.
Right.
And we started to create, let's say, interfaces for them to use that technologies. Now we have about up to 100 full complete workflows that you can automate using our platforms without any coding skills, no code, no technical skills, nothing required. And you don't require any other account having on Amazon Cloud, AI, other systems, etc. But in behind, we are using all these cloud technologies, existing AIs and things like that are sound so fancy, but they're not so fancy.
Right. In reality, they're much simpler than most
they're very
people.
simple.
Yeah. So what are some of these workflows that you guys are automating?
Automating business processes, starting from monitoring any data in the web, scraping, moving some data from one platform to another platform, connecting different, let's say you want to connect to your websites or one software with another website, updating, let's say, prices, or I don't know, updating the content, or automatically translating the data, or you want, let's say, automatically scan your websites for grammar mistakes, and you want to perform it regularly, automatically. There are platforms for this, but again, you need somebody to tweak some settings and do it for you. In this case, you just put the URL and run the system. Yeah, these kind of things. Translating, converting files or formats from one to another, sending to another systems, I don't know, this kind, anything that related to data transformation, data movement, I don't know, calculations, converting, etc.
Are you guys using just a lot of like public APIs for that stuff, or have you
Sure.
built?
We're using mainly not public premium APIs from mainly from Google and Amazon
Right.
clouds. All of them are paid for sure. We're like we call sometimes us as the OS of existing APIs or cloud,
Like a collection of it all. Yeah.
something like this. But to be more understandable in the market, we just have 4 different names of products that each of them have some niche.
Yeah.
And is more understandable for customer. Let me like explain an example. Like we have Hexawatch. It's a monitoring platform. What it does, let's say you are in e-commerce and you have some competitors and you are dependent on their prices or some currency exchange prices or some, I don't know, different currencies and suppliers. So you have to update, refresh every day, spend like an hour to refresh and see how the prices are changing compared to something, some triggers, some percentages, etc. So using Hexawatch, you just put the URLs, select the areas of the page that you want to monitor, put the intensity, that's it. And you get the email with the summary of all changes that happen.
Right.
It's just one of the simple solutions. Another one, for example, is HexoSpark. This is email automation platform. Let's say you have you are sending periodically emails from your own Gmail account, but you want to automate some follow-ups. You want to scale some emails. You have to send 25 emails, let's say, and you have to do it manually every week. In this case, you just copy paste, put the template, and it goes from your email, let's say.
Right.
These kind of simple solutions that are used a lot.
I'm curious about, from a business data perspective, what tools you guys offer companies. So, let's say companies have, some sort of structured data about their operations, like maybe it's inventory or things like that. Do you guys have BI tools, business intelligence tools that help them make sense of that data or use that data in a more efficient way? Or
at this moment, we do not have any like such an analytical solutions. We more deal opposite with not structured data. We make them structured.
Right.
Let's say, for example, you have a competitor with a website and you want to get the spreadsheet of your competitor's price list every day with updated prices.
Right.
So you can structure it using our tools, like scrape, sort, put on the spreadsheet and send to your Slack channel like every day at 10 o'clock.
Right, got it.
For example.
What's the bigger vision for Hexact? What's the problem or the set of problems that you guys are really
the bigger vision and the bigger problem that we are focusing on is that people like knowledge workers in today's world spend about 30% of their work time on repetitive tasks related to copy pasting, opening, closing files, different applications, like moving data from one to another. And these kind of things are like, it's possible to automate almost all of them.
Right.
And all big enterprises already have this.
Yeah.
And if you are a small and medium business, you do not have access to these enterprise solutions or to highly paid developers that can develop this for you. So sometimes with my partners we speak about bringing like tools of titans to the people,
to the small and medium-sized enterprises. That's fascinating.
Finally, we give solutions that you can compete more effectively and anyways compete with big guys.
Right. How do you guys go about finding those workflows that should be automated in those industries? Because if you're not a worker in that space, then it would probably be harder to identify those procedures. How do you guys go about finding them?
So we started from a small one that we know for sure that it happens. We just put it in the market, got some users, collected feedback, and started to understand market more.
What was the first one?
The first one was Hexometer. It was our first product that was just simple website monitoring.
Yeah.
but a little bit complicated than others existing in the market, because let's say it's very normal to have monitoring the uptime of the website or the speed of your website.
Yeah.
But we added spell check, grammar check. We added how your images are opening on the pages, etc., which I saw from my all previous jobs, that you have an operator, they upload images, sometimes they don't upload, they miss something, they do some typos. So yeah, it was like more comprehensive monitoring. And then when we started to offer this to the market, we got like a lot of feedback and started to understand more that, let's say you monitored and you see that there's a typo. What's the next step? You can fix it. Yeah. So you can automate the fixing, or you can automate the messaging.
The suggestion.
Yes, send this page to the appropriate person who will fix it. You can automate this process as well, etc. And it started.
So by automating one procedure, you saw all the things that could get automated from there. Yeah, that's interesting. I think recently you guys announced that you've passed the 100,000 user mark. Tell me a little bit about what was your go-to-market strategy and how you grew the user base to 100,000.
So we launched first time our product. It was middle of 2019. So right after a few months when we found it, we put it on Product Hunt, Armenian Eurovision.
Yeah. For those who don't know, Armenian startups do very well on Product Hunt.
We gained some users. Then we understood that it's not the way that we can generate something. Then we pivoted again after a few months, put it with different name again on Product Hunt, then get some more users, then did some promos, deals, like Reddit posting, etc. Like many gray type of things we tested at the beginning. We just started to get users mostly organically at the beginning. Yeah, now even also sometimes we get like exposure of traffic. For sure we use SEO, some influencers, affiliate, everything. Like engineering, marketing works pretty well. It's very interesting approach that we use.
Is your business B2B or can people go online and just purchase?
It is B2C2B.
Okay.
Because any of our services are used for business. Our user is a person, not an enterprise. We have already some enterprise customers, but our user is a person who is using for business or as an employee or as for his own business, anyways for business. We don't have anything for personal use, except few cases that happened during COVID. We had some cases when just a person was monitoring the day when the vaccination will start in his city.
Okay.
He was just scrapping like websites whenever you can find information about vaccine. But it was like
personal project type of thing.
All automations and all services that we provide are exclusively for business. But again, our user is a person.
Given that model, if you're giving advice to a startup that has a similar type of product in terms of the category that they're in, you think just sort of things like Product Hunt and Reddit posts and things like that are the best way to get your first, let's say, 1,000 customers?
Not 1,000 customers, but at least a couple hundred of users. I would recommend to do more experiments and launch as fast as possible. Also, this freemium type of products is working pretty well. When you offer something for free, and if they want to scale, then they have to start paying. So this way you get more feedback from real users. Another most important thing that I recommend always, that you have to put paid version from the beginning, because if you are all free and one day decide go paid,
it doesn't look good.
In most cases, it is not happening. That's why you have always put like something free, but something paid, even cheap, no matter how much is it.
Just to show that you have a paid option.
To show that user have to commit paying something, because If he doesn't commit paying anything, and even he can use it for years, and when you say from today you have to pay $1, it can turn that nobody will pay you.
Yeah.
And I have that kind of examples, too many during these 20 years.
Yeah.
Too many times.
Yeah. Like Facebook today, it would be very difficult for them to start a $4.99 a month subscription feature for their accounts or something. Yeah, that's definitely true. I'm curious, you said the first few hundred from, the kind of just like scrapping by on Product Hunt and places like that. How do you make that scalable, that user acquisition?
We did several, it is called LTD, lifetime promos.
Okay.
We're still doing it, and there are some other companies that afraid of this, but I'm very recommending trying these campaigns as well. We're selling lifetime accounts for a really short period of time. What we get from this, it is very interesting because, yes, this person pays once, but he feels himself part of the product because the message is following. Like, it's a beta version, so we're selling limited number of paid accounts to the people who want to contribute. And as a reward for this, they get lifetime access to the premium features. The reward that he gets is understandable. If you succeed, they get like premium features. What you get on your side, you get a real feedback from a real user who really paid something. This something is not $1. It can be $100. It can be $200. It's also important that it have to be something more than 50 or 100.
Yeah.
But probably in the future you will sell it 50 per month. Doesn't matter. But you get real feedback from a real person who really interested in having this product, who really paid something.
Yeah.
And he's starting to give you feedback, testing his particular use case and workflow, whatever your product is. From other side, he is interested for you to succeed. This is very important thing. Like, you are getting ambassadors in the web. And whoever says something bad about you, he's your advocate. Because he's interested when you succeed. Because if you succeed, he has a premium product forever. If you not succeed, like, he is losing his investment. And I feel very, very good. There are very good vibes there, and we're using this for any of our new updates or plugins that we deploy in the web. Always. Like, first period, we always do this kind of thing, getting hundreds of such customers. Who become, some of them become even friends. Really, you get a real feedback. Because I'm always saying that free users' feedback is nothing. I don't even read.
They're not invested in it.
Because when you show, like, let's say I'm showing you a software, you are the best person in the world, you don't have any idea what is it, and you can give some feedback. Doesn't worth anything? I don't think so. Even if you are the most clever person in the world, in the universe, it's not your use case. You can say, like, I don't like the color. Okay.
But it doesn't tell you much.
It doesn't tell me anything.
How do you guys go about collecting that feedback?
Email, customer support, chat, feedback
like
button
guys,
on the
but do you guys like actively seek it out, or
Sure.
And that plays into your product
development. Emailing, questioning. We offer 24/7 customer support, so when your customer knows that you have 24/7 customer support and there's no any limitations, the information comes by itself. Yes, also we put like these feedback buttons everywhere.
Standard.
It is like there are many best practices for this.
And the feedback plays an important role in your product development, I guess.
Sure.
Let's talk a little bit about business intelligence and sort of workflow automation in general. So this is something that I would say over like the last 5-7 years has become really, really prominent in the North American market, especially. A lot of workflow is being more and more automated, and it's becoming a growing industry. And in Armenia, I feel like it's kind of missing a little bit still. There's a lot of data scientists in Armenia. There's even a lot of business intelligence people and stuff, but they typically work for companies that do their business intelligence outsourcing to Armenia. So they're working for foreign companies, really. And one of the criticisms of Armenia's tech sector is that the tech sector doesn't have a big economic impact in terms of impact on the country's economy, because it doesn't do much to improve the productivity of the country's economy. Much of that productivity increase is done for the North American market or the European market and stuff, for understandable reasons. It seems like business intelligence should be something that can be adapted for any country, because for any country that has business sectors with data and stuff, they could use something like business intelligence tools. What needs to happen in order for that data-driven culture adoption to happen in Armenia, for companies in Armenia to start using your product and things like that?
So as we are exactly that market,
right?
I am like pretty informed.
Yeah, I can imagine
about this, but let me just try to put some different data points here.
Right.
So the first important part is that, for example, in our case, we have a lot of customers who are in e-commerce and they are automating their workflows there.
Yeah.
Typically, let's say most of them selling on Amazon.
Mm-hmm.
So they have Amazon account,
Yeah.
product listing, and they have to update the competition prices, suppliers. Their competition is again on Amazon. Their suppliers are again online.
Right.
Prices are open, transparent.
They can see it.
Yeah. And what do you have to do? You just to connect these numbers, put the process, and automate.
Right.
That's it. So we are supplying this demand.
Mm-hmm.
Armenian market. You are selling in somewhere.
Right.
On Nardos.
Right.
Your competitor is somebody else on front street who even don't have any computer.
Right.
So if you go there, you don't even see the price label on the product.
Yeah.
So there's no data-driven decisions.
Right. Yeah.
They are like smell-driven decisions, or I don't know. But they are same level personas. Same level of businesses.
Yeah.
When we are speaking about like other businesses again, let's say data scraping.
Uh-huh.
So we are automating a lot of data scraping processes when, for example, we have to collect a lot of data, analyze it, sort it, and then make some decisions. This is the demand, and we are supplying. In Armenia, the same. Most probably, this data again is not available online.
Right.
Or if it is available, maybe somebody can look manually, and he is not asking high salaries. So comparable to automation price, because automation also costs something. Yes, it's a little bit comparable with Armenian salaries.
Right.
Still, it's incomparable with US salaries, like 10 times lower.
Yeah.
But it's not 10 times lower than Armenian salaries.
Right.
This is another issue. So speaking about this, let's say that the demand in US market is way ahead of the demand of Armenian market, and what is demanded here probably was demanded 50 years ago there, and there's no solution for this.
So it's a cost-driven thing. Like it's just because
cost,
labor is cheap.
Technology, because whatever you want to automate, you need this data to be digital at the beginning. So if the data is not digital at all, then what to automate? I'm aware of this because I'm here like a long time ago in terms of this e-commerce things in Armenia, and a lot of computer shops, electronic shops even, didn't put any prices few years ago on their websites even. They started to put prices these last years during this COVID times when they were obligated to sell online because there wasn't any other option. Like before, few years ago, you couldn't see any price on any Armenian electronic shop. They had shop, you can see the item, no price. Because their competitor is waiting this price to put a little bit lower on his side and to and the market is very small.
Right.
All know each other. Yeah, that's why now they put, but again, it can be not up to date.
You call, maybe you go.
Yeah,
and
you need to
it's
call,
actually
you need
10%
to
more
write on
expensive.
Facebook. Like on Facebook, you know, this is like very Armenian. On Facebook, they put something to sell, but there's no price. You have
Right.
to put the plus to get the
Yes,
price.
that's right.
What to
Even if you
automate?
ask the
You
price in the
can
comment, they
the
will.
only thing in Armenian market that you can automate is putting this plus.
You guys should build a tool for that. Plus or matter.
You know, we can do a tool for this if somebody will
Pay for it.
yeah, will pay, but I'm sure that nobody will pay for it.
Yeah.
So what to automate?
Yeah, so the picture is bleaker than I imagined, I guess.
Yeah, I'm of course I'm a little
Yeah,
bit like speaking about different like
Extremes,
yeah,
yeah.
but mostly it is true.
Do you have any idea what like ERP adoption is like in Armenia? Because if you want to do business intelligence, if you want to build a data driven culture, the first thing to do is have an ERP system that actually collects the data for you.
Sure.
For our listeners who might not know, ERPs are enterprise resource planning.
I was selling
softwares.
ERP 15 years ago.
There you go. Yeah. It's like accounting software, things that manages your
One
business.
of our products, and it was like the most successful product like 15 years ago.
Yeah.
Smart Sale, I think. Yeah, smart. We name it Smart Sale,
Right.
and it was ERP solution for distributing, importing, and production companies who have warehouses, drivers,
Yeah.
couriers, etc. Yeah, we were like the leaders in the market that years.
Like, what do you think ERP adoption is like in Armenia? What do you think the rate is? Is it super low or?
It's a difficult question. Compared to what? Compared to same type companies in the region, probably we are not
Too
in the
behind.
worst situation. The main problem here, I think, is that companies are very small.
Right.
Because what we call like medium company they are not small, they are micro.
Right.
And yeah, if you are small, if you do not have that turnover market, then you can't afford like a real enterprise
A real
solution.
ERP
Because
system,
when I'm saying that we were selling enterprise product, it was developed by us for local market.
Yeah.
For sure, it was cheap. We were a distributor of one of the biggest ERP solution for almost 4 or 5 years, and we didn't have any customer in Armenia for that product, but we were selling our own at the same time, like 50 times cheaper.
Right.
And some industries are already automated because I just remember then 15 years ago we were selling this POS software as well, the software for supermarkets, like the cashier software. So that years, none of the supermarket shops, maybe one of them had this kind of software, and regular shops doesn't have anything, just a paper.
Yeah.
Now almost all shops, at least in year one, have some software.
Yeah.
It's already something for me because I saw when there wasn't.
Yeah.
And when you told them that, you need to, they say, I'm already calculating.
Right.
Like, no problem with piece
Right.
of paper. Yeah, now all of them have. Even in other big cities of Armenia also, most of the shops have. But yes, there are a lot they don't have.
Right.
But you can see the same in other small European cities as well.
Yeah.
Like small shops can probably don't have anything.
So it's just the size of business thing. I mean, as they grow, they'll
size
need
of business, market turnover. We can't blame them because they really don't have the revenue. They
to
really,
justify it.
Also they have somebody who do this manually.
Right. Yeah. And as long as it's cheaper for that person to do it, then
Yeah.
But it's also from a productivity standpoint, like countries like Canada, for instance, will give up to like $100,000 in grants to companies to implement an ERP system. Like they'll pay for the person that you will have to hire to implement it. They'll pay for the licenses, everything. So it's really like it's also like an investment from the government into the country's economy. So as Armenia's economy grows, I hope we'll see some more efforts in that space.
Sure. Big companies like in Armenia, for Armenian standards, big companies already have some kind of ERP solutions, local or Russian made. I know only few companies in Armenia, maybe 3 or 4, that are using non-Armenian or non-Russian ERP like
SAP
products.
or something.
Yeah. Maybe 5 or 10.
That's
more.
understandable. I mean, like SAP is like, it's like $100,000 a year or something. So I mean, you have to be really.
Yeah, but it also helps, and they start to realize also salaries are increasing, and
Yeah.
it becomes more understandable and meaningful and reasonable to have some automation,
Yeah.
some control, get rid of these papers. And,
Yeah, it's also a cultural thing. Like, speaking of business culture, sometimes you write on this topic about business practices in Armenia that you like to see change and stuff. Recently, you wrote one about resumes and how people can improve their CVs and how they shouldn't send, I think it was Word doc as file formats and stuff. So you've had more than a 20-year business career now in Armenia. What do you make of the situation now? Has it changed a lot over the 20 years, and what are some positive trends you see, and what do we still need to work
yeah,
on?
sure. But there are, like, comparing during these 20 years, a lot of things changed and improved.
What are
But
some things from those early days that we can't even imagine now? Like
so skill as a fox.
skill as a oh yeah, right. Faxing as a skill, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Skill. It was a real skill,
right,
like fox. But now you can still see a skill Excel.
right. That's too basic of a thing.
Yeah, but written wrongly, like Excel
right.
with G.
Yeah,
Yeah, things like that. Using like very very interesting email addresses, or like mother can send CV of his son.
oh yeah,
Yeah, then she will follow up with the interview, asking, so how was he? Things like that. Yeah, still happening. But it's not that bad.
today.
Yeah, that bad today. But again, sometimes it happens, and I think that I have to write something about this again.
Right. Yeah. People can follow your blog posts and things on your LinkedIn page if they're interested. So Stepan, last year you guys announced your pre-seed round, I
Mhm.
believe it was, for 300,000, I think.
Yeah,
Did I
it
get
was
that right?
a little bit more, yeah, something
Okay,
like
yeah.
this.
And are you guys in the process of raising a seed round now? Or?
Yes, we started to raise again. We basically are a bootstrap company, so we are selling from the first year. Right now as well, we are like we are not growing by all means, not that kind of startup. But yes, we started to raise now, and projecting to close our round by the end of this year.
What's raising in this market like? Because we keep hearing about how the capital markets are really tough now, especially compared to last year.
The multipliers decreased for
Yeah,
sure.
valuations are lower.
VCs are more selective, but still
You're able
it
to
is
get the
there.
funding.
It is a little bit difficult. You will get a little bit less valuation.
Yeah.
It will take a little bit longer, but it is still work. It's still companies raise. Yeah, it's very difficult to raise if you do not have any revenue, if you do not have any track
Yeah.
record, if you do not have anything just on idea stage. That before it was maybe easier, but in general, like for me, it is better now. Probably it can
How so?
sound a little bit normal, but for me it is better now because it is more grounded.
Right. Yeah. Like your company has 100,000 users. That's serious traction. That's serious.
I think so.
Achievement. Yeah. Whereas last year or in late 2020, someone with a napkin with an idea on it might have gotten a couple $1 million. Yeah. How big is your team now?
We have about 40 people.
40.
Yeah,
Oh.
in Yerevan.
Mostly data scientists, engineers.
Mostly engineers, UX designers, support,
Yeah.
marketing. Yeah, but mostly, yes, for sure, engineers.
Do you guys have any hirings right now that people should know
Yes,
about?
we always have hirings. Our vacations are open. It's another problem in Armenian market. But again, it's not only Armenian; it's everywhere.
Talent is
Finding
hard to
talent
find.
everywhere is a problem. When sometimes I hear other startups are saying that, oh, it's very difficult to find a real space. But where is
Where are you
easy?
looking?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
At the same time, I mean, it's difficult to find a good barman, a good, I don't know, driver,
Anything.
a good anything,
Yeah. Yeah.
and everywhere.
Right. I'm curious, like with your long career in business in Armenia, where do you look for talent in Armenia? How do you go about hiring? What's your approach to that?
Maybe the most effective one is LinkedIn.
Yeah.
In our
Industry.
At least. In other industries, can be Facebook post. For other business, can be like, I don't know, different. But in our case, for sure, the most effective one is LinkedIn.
For the Armenian market specifically, like, is there a type of company that you want to see that they've worked at, or is there something special about hiring in Armenia that you look at that might be different in the US?
We basically hire people who want to work.
Right.
There are some companies, when we see that somebody worked there, we will not hire ever. So the companies, when we know that you are not working too hard there, so you use not to work.
Right. Yeah. Good point. Yeah. Okay, Stepan, and our last question. Where do you hope to see Hexact in the next 5 to 10 years?
5-10 years. So probably after 5, maybe 5, little bit more, go to IPO, probably.
Mm-hmm.
This is our...
That's what you're working towards?
Yeah, I don't know. Automating more cases.
Yeah. Making business
understanding this industry deeper, because every day we see that there are a lot of new things that yesterday we didn't even see.
Right.
Like in front of us.
Right.
And this is very, very exciting. I like what we do, and I think we will continue it for a long time.
Awesome. Stepan Jan, I wish you luck with that, and thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you. You are welcome.